They gave me some locks, I found out the keys. They came in with crops, I planted the seeds. Now if I am shot or if I am bleeding, I will not stop until I stop breathing. Reap what you sow, and they sowing weeds, but they do not know. They think they got trees, it's like a disease. Then they look at me 500 degrees like I'm Little Weezy, boy. Ain't none of this easy, boy. Shout out to my little brother Quest. He inspired me to go and be the best.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Apply the Pressure. This episode is called Are You Offended? Now, we all know those people who are just offended at everything that we say, anything someone else says, offended at anything that has to do with their jobs. You know, why do I always have to do this? No one else has to. Or they're offended. They just wake up offended. They walk outside, the wind is blowing, they're offended. A car passed by, they're offended. You know, someone turns without putting a blinker on, they're offended. You know, we all know those people who seem to take every opportunity and every chance they get to be offended. And if you don't know that person, well, you know how the saying goes, that person is probably you. But anyways, that is such an unhealthy and unsatisfying way to live. So I'm going to try to help y'all out with that. Now, let's just be honest. There are plenty opportunities in every single day to be offended. Every day, like if we count them, I bet we'll get to 100 and something. You know, 100 and something times a day that we have the opportunity to get offended. But what we have to learn is just because I have the opportunity to be offended or I would be offended by this does not mean that we have to be offended. You know, the thing that I want to stick in everyone's head is just because I can be offended doesn't mean I have to be offended. You do not have to be offended every time the opportunity to be offended comes up. And so we just have to learn as people to let a lot of stuff go. Again, you're going to walk outside and something happens. You're going to get in your car and something happens. You're going to get to work and something happens. You're going to get home and something happens, you know. And there are different types of, you know, feeling offended. You know, there are those quick hitters, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm offended by this. Just, you know, in the blink of an eye, someone says something and does something. I'm offended by this. But then there are some offenses that could be long term. There are some things that we're offended by, or sometimes we're offended and those things could turn into grudges and we're offended for a long time. It's no longer just a short offense or, you know, something that just happened, but, you know, we've taken and we've letting it grow hold in our hearts. And being offended is, you know, partly it's a heart issue, you know. And so I just want to real quick read a piece of a devotion for you guys. So when we're offended, we give the enemy a foothold, an open door to divide and destroy us. The enemy wants us to be offended with our neighbor, our spouse, our friends, and our brothers and sisters in Christ. Boy, ain't that the truth. Like, I mean, again, to go along with how many times we could be offended in each day, we all know that's triple true for family. You know, our kids, our parents, you know, our cousins. For all of you who are married, know that you probably have 1,000,000 times in each day to be offended at your spouse. Oh, you put the toothpaste on the left side of the countertop. You know I want it on the right side. Like, it be little stuff like that that you can easily be offended by. And just being around someone, it could be a best friend, a spouse, just being around someone so long, especially those who know you or you feel like should know you to a certain point. It's even could get even worse for people like that, because, you know, there's this sense of, oh, they know I don't like this, or how could they say that or do this? They know that that would offend me. And a lot of times that's not even in people's hearts to try to offend you. It's just that sometimes you could be, or sometimes some people just look for the offense and everything. And sometimes it could be so repetitive, you don't even know what's happening. But everything that happens, you're looking for the offense in that, you know. And I want to read something. The truth is, because of our sinful nature, imperfections, past hurt, and pain, we sometimes hurt other people. And I want you guys to listen to this from both perspectives. From the person who may always feel offended by something someone says or something, everybody says. None of us are perfect. So we're all going to say hurtful things sometimes. We're all going to mess up. We're all going to say the wrong things sometimes. Everything I say and do is not meant to offend you. So please don't take offense to everything I say and do. Now, on the other side of it, we as people got to realize that, again, sometimes we're going to make mistakes and offend people. And if we do that, sometimes it's good to just apologize to that person. But no one's perfect, and we're all going to say or do something to offend someone at some point. So I want to read from Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 21 and 22. Listen to this, please. Those of you who get offended at everything. Also, do not take seriously all the words which are spoken, so that you do not hear your servant cursing you. For you know that even you have cursed others many times as well. So basically what they're saying is don't take every single word that every single body says to heart. It literally says, do not take seriously all the words which are spoken, And then it goes on to say, so that you don't hear your servant cursing you, you know that even you have cursed others many times as well. And so also don't take everything to heart. You have cursed many other times as well. So it's just like, a lot of those times you didn't even mean what you were saying, or a lot of times you might have said something jokingly, or a lot of times you said something because of a mood that you were in, and later on when that mood left, you realize, I don't really feel that way about that person. You know what I'm saying? So we've all been in that situation where we said something bad about somebody, or intentionally or unintentionally, or to where we've said something to offend someone where we didn't mean it. We always done that. So it's important to look at that on both sides of the coin. If you are that person who find yourself getting offended all the time and offended at everything and anything somebody got to say, or maybe you're like, well, I don't get offended at everything, just some things. Even if you get offended once a day, like that's too much. Like you can't go every single day and put that much energy into something. Like I always tell people, everybody needs just a little bit I don't care in them. Just a little bit I don't give a care in them. Everybody needs just a little bit. Me, I care enough, but not too much. And I always try to stay that way. I care enough, but I don't want to be caring too much. I'm not going to go to sleep, being offended at something somebody said to me or did to me, And again, we have to learn to not take every single opportunity that there is to be offended at someone, and understand like the devil uses that. The devil used that so many times, you know what I'm saying, to again divide us, to get us to think differently, to get us to not be on the same page. Again, if you're married or have a kid, or you are the kid and you're offended at something your parents say all the time, and that's not to say obviously to let anybody talk to you any kind of way. That ain't the point. But again, some people, man, are just too offended, or get too offended when something does offend them, or just get offended at every little thing. And again, it's just an unhealthy way to live. So how do we fight against the bait of offense? We forgive. All right. Regular forgiveness reveals the traps of the offense before you even step into them. As you lay down your cares at the feet of Jesus and forgive as God has forgiven you, you give the enemy no room to build towers of offense. You give the enemy no room to build towers of offense. Like, just think about that word. Like, some of us have towers of offense built up. Like a tower on this side, a tower on that side. And we can spot these people. You know what I'm saying? They usually tend to complain a lot, complain about everything, about you. You know, it's just hard being friends with, you know, you, if that's you, or, you know, whoever you are. You know, it's just hard. That's just something you should know. It's very difficult being around you. It's very hard being your friend, being a family member. And again, it is a heart issue. And I know a lot of times people don't do it on purpose. And that's why, again, just a lot of forgiveness and a lot of prayer is needed. You will find that God is faithful to give you the grace to love one another as he intended. Again, if we allow ourselves to forgive each other and to forgive people, you know, God can use us in those instances with those people, you know, with whoever. Proverbs 19:11. Good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. Good sense make one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. Anger. I mean, anger could be a byproduct of being offended. Anger, you know, being a person who is just offended all the time, you know, they could dive deep off into anger. There's a lot of things, a lot of emotions that could come from that. Anger is one of them. Jealousy is another. Just being sad and mopey and, you know, woe is me and nothing ever goes right. You know, I'm just offended by everything. You know, those aren't good things good emotions to just stay in all the time. So we got to be careful and make sure we're not offended. But I do want to talk about that anger aspect of it, being slow to anger, because a lot of times we pull grudges from that, from being offended. We hold on to grudges. We hold on to, oh, I'm going to get them back. And the Bible kind of teaches us in some scriptures that being offended can lead to that. Being offended can lead to being angry, want to get back at that person, wanting to like do something about it. Like, it's a breeding ground for sin. It's a breeding ground for sin, because if you're always like that, then there could be retaliation involved against a person. Again, it could be someone in traffic. You know, they blew your horn. The light was green. You didn't see it. They blew the horn for you to go ahead. And now you're so offended about them blowing the horn, and you cussing them out, and you throwing up the middle finger, and, you know, your whole day is ruined. Your whole morning is ruined. And again, it's a trap by the enemy. It is a trap every single day. You know, that is definitely what the enemy wants. If he can get you offended at something, offended at everything, that is exactly what he wants you to do. And again, being offended all the time could lead us towards betrayal and hate. Betrayal and hate. Again, you got short-term offenses, or being short-term offended, or long-term offended. And again, long term, man, that stuff just sits there and festers and can become hate, which obviously is not good. And it is your glory to overlook an offense. It's his glory to overlook an offense. His meaning, you know, you, or, you know, whoever you are, you overlook that offense. And basically the Bible is teaching us to overlook all of the offenses, overlook them. Don't let every single thing bother you. Learn to forgive. There's obviously many hundreds of scriptures on forgiveness and how we all need to forgive. Proverbs 18:19. A brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a castle. I mean, that pretty much sells itself right there. Um, so again, today I just kind of want to spread light on that. If you are, a type of person or the person to be offended so much, or be offended at everything someone says, like lighten up a little bit, lighten up. Um, Learn to forgive. Keep praying and praying and praying for God to help you with that, with the forgiveness aspect. Just like you can have that be offended at something, small, short term or long term. Like a lot of us need help with that long term forgiveness, meaning we've been holding this against this person for so long, and uh we have a hard time forgiving something that happened a long time ago, or something that may have been repetitive. But also likewise, there are things that in the moment we just need to make up our minds and forgive, and just not to hold on to anything. I have in my mind, I don't know about y'all, but every day I wake up, every day I go out, like I just have it in my mind, like somebody's gonna do something or that would upset you, or that would offend you. I'm not gonna let this get to me. Again, I have a certain amount of I don't care in me. You know what I mean? It's gonna take a lot to get to me, and even then, I have to pray, obviously, every single day, and I pray a lot for myself to not be so offended, or not let something affect me so much at times when things may affect me a lot. So, I just want to ask you guys some questions. Who is it that is hard to forgive? In which area of your life has the enemy baited and trapped you into offense? Lay it down and allow forgiveness to set you free from being offended. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as Christ God forgave you. So the key things to take away from everything is basically just what I just read about forgiveness. Ephesians 4:32 is where that scripture came from. I just read. Also remembering that we're all people. We all have a sinful nature. We all are imperfect. We have past hurt and pain, and sometimes hurt other people. So just keep that in mind. Like, if you are a person who is always offended at one particular person, or gets offended easily in life or by life, again, you thought it was going to be sunshine, but it's rain. Understand that nothing and nobody is perfect. So people aren't, most of the time people don't have a mission. They aren't offending you on purpose, right? And even if there is that one person who is purposely offending you, if you're in a position to get that person out your life, get them out your life. But like, let's say it's a coworker or something like that, someone that you can't just get out of your life like that. Like, that's going to build you. That's going to make you stronger. Build tougher skin. Ask for that strength. Pray and ask for that strength. Pray and ask for forgiveness. And again, have that certain amount of I don't care, to where that stuff that person is saying is not getting to you as much. Learn to live unoffended. Learn to live unoffended. And on the other side of that, for the person that, you got to know how hard it is to deal with someone like that. And again, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not, trying to be judgmental. I'm just letting you know, if you are that person, if you know that you get offended, at a lot of stuff or everything someone says, just know it's hard to deal with you. It's hard to be around you. It's hard to be your best friend. It's hard to be a spouse. It's hard to be around people who are just always offended like that. And again, that's a wedge that the devil used to, break up friendships, marriages, Christ, built relationships, so we have to get all of those offenses off of us. Keep all of those offenses off of us, so that we're not living in such a way that is just so disruptive and chaotic and unhealthy. you know, for ourselves and for those who are around us. And I love the scripture that we read. You know, everything is not that serious. Don't take serious everything someone says, because you say some things sometimes that I'm sure you wouldn't want people to take seriously. Like every single word that you say, don't take them serious. So, I mean, the scripture itself says it. Don't be so serious. Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't take everybody else so seriously. It's a heart issue. Learn to forgive. Pray for the strength. Pray for the knowledge. Ask God to help learn you and teach you how to forgive. Yeah, I said learn you. And I mean, that pretty much wraps it up. Like we say every week, any questions, anything that y'all feel like I didn't hit on, anything like that, hit me up, inbox me, comment below. Apply the pressure. Tune in next week. Chill. All right, everybody. It's that time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank y'all for watching another episode of Apply the Pressure. But really, you ain't even got to say goodbye. Y'all hit me up on my Instagram and on my YouTube. YouTube is GChild TV and Instagram is _GChild. Y'all comment under this video. Please share it. Please like it. Also, hit me up if y'all have any ideas or any topics to discuss on future episodes. Let me know. Any questions y'all have for any previous episodes, ask those questions. We're going to post the responses to them. All right. Take care.